just like that, the best hour in crypto, in my opinion, is upon us. What's up, everybody? Good to see you. Welcome back to Crypto After Dark. Carolina Keith, Professor Keith, Keith the Simp, regular Keith. I hate Keith. Keith's an idiot. Whatever. The hat's backwards. It's go time, just like on the fucking movie with Sylvester Stallone where he does the arm wrestling over the top. Man spins his hat backwards and it's ready to go, right? You're ready to go too. Welcome to Crypto After Dark. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. They're free. They cost nothing to hit like. Why not, man? It won't hurt your feelings. It won't hurt your budget. It's free. Also, if you're there, hit like and as well, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, man. We want to get to 10 grand. We're almost there. Just a little bit more, okay? We got to keep plugging along. The bear market's hampered our subs, right? A lot of people don't like to subscribe to stuff and even look at crypto Twitter anymore or crypto YouTube anymore, thanks to a bunch of idiots, right? They kind of ruined it for everybody, but that's okay. We can bring it back. Just like Justin Timberlake brought sexy back. Well, we can bring this back, right? I think we can. Maybe we can't, but damn, I'm going to try. All right, so we're going to look at some cool charts tonight. All right, I got XRP on the thumbnail, and I want to explain XRP because many people have asked me about it. What's it going to do? How's it going to happen? How far down? Blah, blah, blah. Is it going to go up? Are we going to go in? What's going to happen? I think we're going to dig into this one a little bit, as well as any other coins you guys might want to have looked at. I had a couple of people mentioning CRV in the Discord over there. So we'll jump over and look at Curve for sure, Bitcoin. I'm going to go through my entire list that I have on my trading view that you can't really see right now, but it's there. Maybe you can see it if I squeeze the screen over like this. There you go. That's one of my lists, and I have many lists. Here you go. This is the A list. This is the original list I made when I first started charting crypto. And I still use it to this day. I mostly look at the top, right? But I want to keep all these assets on there because they meant something to me at some certain pertinent moment. So I keep them, but I moved this all the way over so you guys can't really see it, right? You guys don't need to see all the symbols and stuff. You guys have your own list. What's the point in looking at mine, all right? If you would like it, just ask for it, and I can post it over in the Discord. I think I can export that somehow. I don't know. Let's say hey to everybody. We got 38 people on. I'm hoping we get 100 tonight. That'd be dope. We haven't had 100 people in about a month. We had 100 people one time. Before that, we had multiple streams with 100, but that was when the market was still kind of popping, right? That's okay. All right. What's up, David R? He said, what's up, Professor? What's up with the track car? I haven't touched it. Why have I not touched it? Well, I've been head deep on charts and Twitter. Plus, when we moved to the new house, I don't have a garage to work on it. So I've got it on the trailer in storage, waiting until I can get a garage built to do it. What I'm hoping is next year, I can get the garage built. I want to get my garage built because not only do I have a car to put in there, I've got multiple ATVs, a golf cart, multiple tool chests, et cetera, et cetera. I've got plans to put a lift in there so that I can have a lift to work on, not just on the ground anymore. This, that, and the other, right? I've got my shop picked out already. I think it's probably going to cost me about 50 grand altogether. But the thing is, you have to have that 50 grand up front. I'm not going to do a loan. I'm going to pay cash for it. I could do it now. I just don't want to liquidate all my stuff. You know what I mean? I don't want to liquidate all my stuff. I want to keep it. But I still have it. I still have all the parts for it, etc. I only threw a couple things away that I didn't really need. What's up, Jeremy? Good to see you, brother. Lunatic says I'm a little early. I'm going back to sleep. Wake up, my guy. Vector, what's up? Good to see you. Ever Forward, Frank, Miss Kelly Slade, Beverly. Round of applause for Miss Beverly, everybody. One of the OGs. Thank you for coming, Miss Beverly. We love seeing Miss Beverly. Sven, what's up? Singapore K. Quigs the Vicious. It's a dope name. He changed it from just Quigs. Mateo, what's up? Fabio, Manolo, Win Mullet. Bro, what's up, Win Mullet? Singapore K. Ropadope, Dynamis, what's up? Anon, Papa Nick, what's up, my guy? He won some Dallas Cowboys crap the other day. There's no way I would have bid on that. I don't care if I'm going to trade it for something or not. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Crew Jones, BC Brews. Look, Miss Beverly shifted and did the Koi Con Lao, which means my name is Miss Beverly, right? I know I'm from Laos. I can't remember. I remember Koi Con Lao because she told me about it. What's up? Good to see you. Andreas, what's up? Brother Beal, already with the tips. By the way, anybody who sends a tip on here, All that gets sent as donation. We don't keep any of that stuff here. When we get Google when tips come in from YouTube, super chat come in from YouTube, all that gets donated. Google gets a portion of it, a good portion, but the rest we donate. I got the moonshine out. It's going to be a long night. A long night, folks. Cheers. Oh boy, it's going to be a rough day tomorrow. Can you feel it? Boy, I can feel it. Oh, that burns on the way down, folks. Moonshine. All right. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate it, brother. All right. Victor, what's up, Vic? Adam Man, what's up? All right. 43 people on, 28 people on there. Go hit like real quick. That's the last time I'm going to say it. Now let's get into it. XRP still getting hammered by this downtrend. Just rickrolled. It honestly felt really good right here when the chart moved up, right? Didn't that feel really good? We had lots and lots and lots of people on crypto Twitter starting to bust out of their seams to talk about how great this chart looked because it moved up a little bit. Well, unfortunately, you learned about trend lines and how they work. We're still under it, and it hasn't broken yet. What do you expect to happen from here? We have successfully stayed under this trend line all the way back since November, the same time everything else went under the trend line. What do you expect to happen? Well, I'll give you my breakdown of what I expect to happen. It's my belief that Bitcoin's got at least another 40 or 50% correction coming in. How is that possible? It's called the chart goes down in a downtrend. Stop trying to get cute and do the mathematics behind it and think, oh, this, and stop. Not necessary. It's very simple. There's no support where it's at, very little, and there's more support lower. That same logic and rhetoric applies to XRP. Where we're at right now is about 40 cents. A 50% drop. If Bitcoin went down roughly 40 to 50%, typically alts move a little faster and a little farther, right? But not always. Not always. XRP has been nothing special the entire time it's been existed since 2017 or 2018 when most people got into crypto because most people didn't get that 2017 run up. Most people didn't get that. You come in after the fact and you've been chasing those dreams ever since. Well, dreams are something that you should aspire to get, but you shouldn't chase them because they're not going to come that way. You have to work for them. If we were to drop 30 or 40% on Bitcoin and alts move 40 to 50%, that's going to put XRP from about 39 cents to around 25 to 20 cents. Okay, does that make sense to you? Now, how can we solidify that number? Well, I'll start by the simple things. Number one, we're under that trend line like I said that we're under. Okay, that's first. After that, you have a regular head and shoulders pattern forming right here, which is an extremely bearish pattern. It's one of the first price action patterns that anybody who does charts learns. Why? Because it's a very bearish pattern, especially if you're in a downtrend. Now, if you're in an uptrend, there are times when invalidation happens of a head and shoulders and we move on up. And I can give you an example of one of those in a couple minutes. Not right now. I don't want to do that right now. I want to stick to what we're looking at first. Either way, you have a gnarly head and shoulders pattern showing up. Each head and shoulders pattern has two shoulders, one head, and a neckline. But where would the neckline be? That's a good question, and I'll show you now. You don't have to be hyper perfect with this stuff, but it's going to be somewhere around in here. All right, there's your neckline. I'll make it the same color as the highlighted color I used there. There you go. Fair enough. There's even a head and shoulders tool over here on the left, which, I rarely use because it's a little bit more trouble than it's worth. I can just draw it out with a little draw tool just as fast. Head and shoulders right there. So something like left shoulder. Hell. I did that all wrong. I did that all wrong. Look at it. It looks great though. That's pretty good. Let's try it again. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, some semblance of this. Okay, you don't got to be perfect with it. There you go. There's your head and shoulders pattern playing out a little bit at a time. Now, how long is that going to take? It could run out this entire time to this trend line over here, okay? There's nothing to say that it won't. It could just do it really fast. I doubt that happens. My opinion is it's going to sit here and do this shit and bounce back and forth and maybe give you one more little push over here, just like you got right here. Same thing over here in this area you'll get. And then we're going to move down. I don't know exactly when that'll be. That's just an assumption. I will say this. On December 14th, which is next week, Congress has a committee to talk about what happened with FTX and crypto and all the mess and how to help fix it. That same day, CPI numbers come out, Consumer Product Index numbers come out, and FOMC numbers come out, Federal Open Market Committee numbers come out. What's going to happen? Are they going to raise rates, keep rates the same, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? I can look at charts right now and see that they all kind of look bearish. I'm to assume that that continues. Now, could it go bullish? Yeah, it could. Or could it get really bad and go bearish and just get really, really gnarly and drop a ton? Also could. Either way, if this thing drops to where I think it may drop, I've shown you the head and shoulders there now, okay? About 40%, 30 to 40% from where we're at right now. That puts us at about a quarter. About a quarter. Just so happens that we have some support down here at about a quarter. Okay, right about through there, there's good support. You got price action in both directions for that area, and you've got it over here the same way. Good price action bouncing off of this line, no matter what. Maybe just a touch higher right there. There you go. You can see that that kind of gets hit so much and so often. That the price action, the candles bounce around that line a lot. Historically, they have. Okay, cool. So that 30%, 35%, 40% drop would put us around a quarter, maybe 20 cents to 25 cents. We have support down there in the form of a support line to back that claim up. How much farther beyond that? Well, if it fails a quarter, then you're looking all the way down at, 15 cents. Gosh, that could be really gnarly, couldn't it? Let's pull a fib on this and see where our fibs point us to. Let's say this is the top of this move, and we're going to move down to the bottom here. I'll get a good look here so everyone can see it nice and clearly. And I got the resolution fixed. It was a software issue. It wasn't even a YouTube issue, so my apologies to YouTube and Google. It wasn't you guys. It was the software. All right, so we're sitting under the 50 fib right now, which is horrible. This needs to break this 50 fib or else. If it doesn't break this 50 fib, this is just double bearish. Roll over and play dead. Come back down here to 786, which just so happens to be where that neckline is, if you remember. All right, can't break 786. Great. Likely to break 786, and that bearish pattern plays out. Bearish pattern plays out. We have support right there at about a quarter, but right below that at about 23 cents is a 1272 line. That 1272 line is a potential take profit level. All right, take profit meaning time to buy. Typically, if it was the other direction and we're going up, you'd be looking to sell or reduce position. In this instance, you're looking to increase or add position or gain a position. These three lines down here show you potential areas. So between 20 cents and 25 cents seems like a viable target, doesn't it? Somewhere in that area. So once this fall starts to happen and plays its way out, I will be looking to capitalize on XRP down here. If you remember, one of my coins on the very first 5 that I had with XRP. Why? Because I almost feel like it's a sure bet to go back up to 786. And what do I mean by 786? Well, let's pull a fib and see. All right, so I'm going to assume this same level down here at this blue box. Could be worse. And honestly, it could be better than that. Yeah, could be better. I'm going to assume the worst. Okay, I always assume the worst. And if I don't get the worst, I don't feel disappointed. Okay, I always assume the worst. Let's pull an overall fib and follow this trend line. Okay, we're going to pull an overall fib and follow the trend line and see what we come up with. What kind of price targets we come up with here. I'm going to grab that November area right here. I'm going to follow this trend with my fib. And I'm going to pull it down to roughly the same area. And I'm going to stop at that area right where I noted it. That trend line's a little off. Right there we go. See, that trend line is almost perfect with the fib, which kind of tells me it's pretty darn accurate. All right, so if we default all the way down here to this white line, which I think is a probability, not a guarantee, but a probability, somewhere around this white line. All right, white and red line, and this is on here. In the summer of next year, we have a possibility of the price moving up at least roughly 100%. That's to the 382, or all the way up to the 50 at 135%. So if you were to put $2,000 on this at roughly 23 cents or so, you're going to make roughly 100% gain if it goes back to the 382 fib, okay, which honestly is kind of possible. There's chop there, yeah? There's shit in the way there at that 382 level, okay? So don't think it can't happen. Don't think it's just going to blow right through that. It may not. It may stop there, okay? It may stop there and pause and not make it through this level. All right? It's a possibility that happens. A possibility that it never makes it through 382. Let me go to weekly so you can see it a bit easier. Either way, there are gains to be made here on the back end if this thing comes back and starts to perform. Right? 382 fib right there, which happens to be in the middle of this trash. You got trash here, a lot of trash in the way. Cool. So I would take 100% gain. How about you guys? That sounds pretty darn good to me. Matter of fact, I would love that. Love that. So what's next? Well, from there, it may get dicey. By the end of next summer, I kind of expect things to roll over and start to play dead again. And I expect them to come back to some sort of support. Now let's assume this thing only goes back to the 382. Let's be pessimistic and say we only get 95% gains here. Still not bad, right? All right, so from the bottom where we started, the swing low, to the swing high, which would be roughly about 100%. Then we have new levels to retrace back to. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 36 cent to 33 cent to 30 cents, somewhere around in here would be our late floor. Somewhere around in there would be our after the summer, which after next summer, after the summer of 2023. After next summer, I expect the price to come back down in this area somewhere here. And then once it does this, this is the last capitulation, the last fall, or the last low point before we move up with halvening, which happens in 2024. Now that's going to be one step at a time, all right? I don't want anybody to get ahead of themselves and think that things are just going to magically take off. It's not the way it works. And as a matter of fact, XRP is one of the more poor performing assets of them all. It's very slow, moves like molasses, and barely gets to where it's going most of the time. For anyone who says that's not true, I need you to go back and look at the history, okay? Most of the time, it barely moves. Has it moved violently before? Yes, one time. One time. It moved violently one time. The last bull market, it didn't hit a lick. All right? It did decent, but nothing compared to what most coins did, okay? Let's remember that and own that. I expect this to go back to 786 overall. And where is that 786 overall? Well, I'll show you. Let's move this. We're still on the weekly chart here. Let's assume, I don't like to assume, but I think it's necessary for this moment. Let's assume the overall top and the overall bottom come in. Fair. Cool. 786 is all the way up here at roughly $1.25 to $1.50-ish. Not sure that happens. It may come in lower than that. Okay. It may end up being this spot down here, which is $1 to $1.10. There's a possibility that happens. Can it break loose and run all the way up to the upper take profit levels? Yes, it could. I just don't expect it. All right. Didn't do it last time. I'm to expect this happens again. And why do I say this? Well, look at the previous bull market and previous bear market, and let's measure swing high and swing low. Here's the swing high. Here's the swing low down here. Okay, I'm going to drag it to the right so you can see it a little bit better. Dead ass 786. Okay, I expect this to happen again over here in this area. Okay, it just makes good sense. I expect it to come right over here and do the same thing again. Could it break it? Yes, I just don't expect it. There's my XRP analysis for you guys. I hope you hated it. because I don't like it either, but it's the truth. I wish it was better news, but it's not. And I can't do bullshit here, everybody. I can't bullshit you and lie to you. If anything that you get from watching this stream, I do not have time or the will or the want to bullshit you or lead you down a path of destruction. It's stupid, ignorant, and dumb. There's no point in that. It's better to make more of a smart community together by being honest and straightforward, even if it sucks. Be honest and straightforward and tell you the truth rather than bullshit you and lead you along. All right? Holding the XRP is not going to make you a billionaire unless you have $500 million beforehand and you can make 100%, right? If you're like me and you're just a normal dude with normal money, you're not going to hit some crazy, amazing home run right here. You're just not. Okay? That's it. All right, let me go read some comments, and then we'll get into every other coin on the list there. Louis Jr., what's up, brother? Good to see you. Jeremy Monroe, not even drunk yet. Bill Childers. Jay Nicholas, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Thank you for watching. Victor, what's up? Bill Childers, Win Mullet. Billy the Kid, what up, bro? Exactly, dude. Manolo says, is the last capitulation that won't fall to 786 possible? Possible. Not really positive yet. I don't know. I don't know if it goes back to 786 or not yet, and I don't want to super assume. We can kind of monitor indicators and monitor price action when that happens. It's going to be close to that. It may just go back to that same floor. There's variations in that. I'm not positive. Don't want to make up some number and not be right, because everyone will call me out if I make up the wrong number. XMR, yes, we can do XMR and XDC. All right. So Bitcoin real quick. Same difference here for Bitcoin. I want to go down to the daily on Bitcoin and show you that just because it feels good doesn't mean it is good. You know, you're making this move up and it feels fun that this little move's happening and you think you're bullish and everything's going great. But honestly, it's no different than this move right here. A little short up, followed by more down to come. You're doing nothing but creating bearish retest and using up indicators. The oscillators are going to run out of momentum eventually and fall flat. Short-term ups only here because you're still under trend, you're still under resistance, and you've done nothing great yet. Every single time you see a crypto influencer scream, the bottom is in, I'm buying, block that son of a bitch, because he doesn't know what he's talking about and he's just doing it for clicks. If you don't want to click on my stuff, fine. But don't expect me to bullshit you on the way there. Okay? I know I'm not going to appeal to everybody, especially the youth. Young people really don't like me. Older people appreciate the honesty. Young people would rather me bullshit them and give them false hope. I've learned this over time. Bitcoin's still doing the same thing. A 40 or 50% drop from here leads us to around 8 to 10K. I know that's crazy. It may not do it all at one time, right? It may take a couple moves. But I'll show you what I mean here. A 30% move brings us down to 11,946. And before you say, oh my God, that's impossible, I want you to do some time thinking here and reflecting on this. Could it go down here to support? Oh shit, it could. See that support right there? Yeah, it definitely could do that, couldn't it? A 30% move for Bitcoin down would be what for alts? God almighty. 60, 70, 80% they would click off? Yeah. Go ahead and give me those great buy opportunities and watch what happens. I'm going to buy the hell out of stuff. 100%. I'm going to buy when those opportunities come in. But they haven't done that yet. All right, the 618, which we know that Bitcoin particularly likes to hit, is all the way down here to 11,500. You could argue that this support line is 11,500, or you could argue it goes a little lower, whatever. In that area, in this area, 11,005 just makes sense. Could it go farther than that? Yes. Would that be a wick? Likely, in my opinion, and it wouldn't really hold up. You would start to see some more demand down here. You'd start to see demand come in because there's a support zone there, right? And you'd see the supply start to happen right about when we get to resistance, roll over and play dead. Just how I see it. In time, I think it'll play out. It's going to break hearts and hurt feelings, but I guarantee you that the asset doesn't care if it breaks your heart and hurts your feelings. It doesn't feel anything. It just is. All right. BTC falling wedge? Yeah, absolutely it's in a falling wedge. Let's have a look at that. I'm not going to get cute with my falling wedge and start trying to magically draw wicks that do or don't line up. I'm just going to shoot a normal one to you right there and say, yeah, falling wedge. Sure. How far could this falling wedge go? Well, it points all the way down here. It could go all the way down to 10,600. Fair. Could I get cute and move my falling wedge line in like this? Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to not go any farther. Yeah, I could do that. I'm not gonna. Not gonna. One thing you're going to learn being in this bear market and seeing how far it can go, for the people who haven't been in a bear market before, they don't truly understand how nasty things can get and how ugly charts can get and how bad it can turn on you. Getting optimistic in a bear market is the bad idea. Been there, done that, lived it, learned it, and won't do it again. All right? For those of you got in a bull market and you wrote it up and you made tons of money, oh, that's great. I'm here to tell you it's going to suck. It's always worse before it's better. Any adult will tell you that. Right? Anybody who's been pampered their whole life probably won't tell you that. All right. Any new side hustle? Keith was like a cat burger. Bro, this is my 786 Assassin shirt. Come on, guy. If you like that merch, Redbubble has my stuff over there. Someone can put the link up if they want. I don't have the link handy. I don't buy the merch much. Right? You know what I mean? It's all good. I just does this giveaway money anyway. What up, Parker? Hey, Parker, glad to see you guys. I've been away for a bit. Work has been hell. About to get back to learning. Missed you and Keith. Man, brother, I'm glad to see you. Everybody's got to work. I get it. Watching you guys, just keyboard does not work well on my darn phone. It's all good. We know Puerto Ricans can't type very well. I'm just messing. Puerto Ricans can type great. Alvin's Puerto Rican, by the way. I'm just messing around, guys. I love Puerto Ricans, especially Jennifer Lopez. She's like 60 years old, still fine as hell. Explain that shit. Ron says aerodynamic. All right, let's do some of these charts. What you doing with my attic? HVAC, ma'am. Absolutely. So let's do XDC real quick and XMR afterwards. XDC, USD. Look at the KuCoin chart. All right, XDC is getting hammered. Honestly, I've got this on my shitters list as one to buy. I don't fully trust that it does what it did last time. I'm not an XDC nerd or an ISO 20022 person like everyone else in the world who thinks that they're so smart because they know what a couple coins are. No, I don't do that. Work with, not work for. Okay? The government will work with. They will not work for. If you want them to work for, they will just take. How much farther could we go down here? Well, we've already made a new low, which is not great. We're getting near take profit lines, but we could drive all the way down to 1.5 cent or 1 cent on XDC before we see a bottom come in. And then once this trend line breaks, let's pull an overall fib here and see what could happen if we get down to a deep bottom. Let's call it at 1.5 cent. That'd give us a rough timeline of around April, May, June to rebound. Come down here, tag it, start moving up. 382 or 50. I kind of expect this one to come back to the 50 because you got good support here. That would be, if it went down to 1.5 cent, a 250% gain. So you can see if you put $1,000 on that, you got $2,550 now. Not bad, right? You got more money to use for the bull market when it actually does happen. Thing is, you have to be willing to take profits. So if you're going to get up here and take profits, know that, you're going to have to rebuy again. Likely, two levels are going to get here, either the red level up here at 618 or the 50 level. I assume the 618. Then we fade back 61%, 78%, 50%. What do we fade back? Once we fade back, this is the buy spot. Once this buy spot happens, I think we sprint up and up and up, okay? And we do our bull market, but not until then. The move's not over. This is not finished. XMR. Monero. This is on my list as well. Just haven't talked about it yet. Monero did very well last run as well. As you see, it peaked out in May, as opposed, this isn't all the chart. Let me find all the chart. That's better. It's more chart. All right, we got two different trend lines here. So you got the upper trend line and you got this lower trend line that's also seems to be holding. That one clearly broke. And you've got a couple support lines down here that I've already drawn. How cool is that? All right, so a 40% drop from here will put us around that support line at about $93 to $90-ish. If we were to get down there, which honestly it's highly likely, then that would put us at roughly, call it $90 bucks. How about that? We'll do 90. 90 bucks and follow the trend and stretch out the fib timeline all the way to halvening. Whoo, that's pretty clean. And then we can pull another one here and see that that trend is also holding. And we can pull that one. That 50 lines up with 382 at about 175 bucks. All right, so I would assume a 382 pullback up here. That's still almost 100% for the next summer for this thing to gain from the bottom, which is a pretty darn good number. And if it wants to do more than that, great. It's 140%, about 140. 140% back to the 50 fib, which is also a solid possibility. Big gains to be made in the median before the bull market actually starts. See these moves up, watch them roll over, rebuy, and watch them come up higher. Make exponentially more money than you would have had if you just held. And I know, listen, it's going to be hard for you to hear me say this, right? It's not easy to hear someone say this, but once you buy the bottom, you don't have to hold the bottom forever, okay? You can buy the bottom, sell the median. When the median starts to roll over and play dead and retrace, you can buy again. And even though your buy level isn't as high, you have more capital to buy with. So now you're going to buy more of the same position than you had at the bottom. You get how that works? You have exponentially more money to buy with now, so you're going to be able to buy more of the product, even though the price is higher. Then you can make even more gains as it goes up later. This is simple stuff. This is buying low and selling high. If you never sell high, then you never made any money. So please think about selling high. All right, cool. Yeah, I like this one. I have this on my list as well. I'm fully prepared to ride it. I need 2,500% at least. Absolutely. Good news is we have charts that have 2,500%, and we're going to talk about them after the stream on the Zoom, and we're going to get even bigger lists together and compile even more data and do even more work. Trias. All right. Yep, this one's had a really, really ugly bear market. It's still pulling back, even though it made that short-term up move, and a couple have done this where they've broken trend, right? This one was brought up last stream. A couple have done this where they've broken trend. Bitcoin, BNB, Matic, and a few others, Quant, Morpheus Network, they all did this little move right here where they moved out. All right, so honestly, I kind of just expect it to roll over and retest the trend line again. I expect it to roll over and retest the trend line down here somewhere. Not exactly sure where it retests the trend line because I'm not a psychic. But I expect it to come down here and retest this trend line at some point. From that point, I will repull the fib and watch probably just to the original low. That makes sense. That would be a 50% drop back down to 85 cents. Fully possible though, okay? Be careful, and it could do it. All right, you've got Ori on there too as well. Right there. I'm going to write this down. And Trias. If they make a lot of percent on the way up, that's honestly, folks, all I really care about. I'm here to get the most gains possible. That's all I want. I don't have all the data on this, so I'm going to jump over to cointrader.pro. Okay. I'm going to pull up Ori over here, which should give me all the data for said token. Usually all the data is over here. Okay, yeah, that was the peak back in February. All right, so let's just use this one to get the information that we want. If we go back to our original low, which I can't tell on this one because I don't have the data, but $1.30 and 92 is roughly 40%. So if we went back to the original low of 91 cents, we have a possibility to make 480% back to the 382, or 1,000% just back to the 50 fib. That's insane, isn't it? And that's just over next summer before we fall back down, because I believe everything will fall back down sometime at the end of next summer. But that's amazing. Ori chain has really good gains, and I'm going to add this to my list and look at it a little bit deeper. A ton of potential here. Not right now, but a ton of potential later. I think that's going to move really, really well when it finally does move, because there's not a ton of resistance and there's a lot of chart to make up room with. I know it looks bad right now, but understand, folks, I don't care how bad it looks. Once this breaks trend, it's on. Once it breaks trend, it is on. Got that? Once it breaks trend, it's ready to rock. I'm in it and I'm riding it. Doesn't matter who it is that runs it, what they do, how they do it, blah, blah, blah. I'm here to make money, and I'm going to make money on every single chart that I can. Less Ponzi schemes. I don't want to be involved in Ponzi schemes. I don't really think anybody should be. Let's see. No, Singapore. It's always an hour on Thursday. Thank you, Jeremy. Getting my learn on. I missed the beginning. I'm 22 minutes behind the live stream. Don't worry, Shep. We're just going through charts, brother. All right. So let's move on to some of the stuff on my list here. Let's do Algorand. Algorand looks horrible. I can't deny that. Move this out of the way. Still waiting on this to finish retracing. And honestly, I expect this box down here. I mean, it could fall all the way to 13 cents. Okay. Falls all the way to 13 cents. I'm prepared, and I fully expect this to go back to 786 like I talked about in the video. It's done nothing to get me happy and cheer me up yet. But I'm ready for it when it does. You know what I mean? 382 here or the 50 fib would be excellent just to get me some percent back. 200% to 382, 350% to the 50 fib. I believe that'll probably use up all the juice for the year once we hit that point. I believe you'll probably see all your oscillators move all the way up to the peak, and you're going to see resistance start to be stronger than support. Coins will fade, slow down, etc. This was similar to the June 19 area that we had previously and last bull run that we were using. If you guys remember, we used June 19 area a lot. Okay. You're going to be using said area again. Okay. Said area will be used again. But it won't be June 19. It'll be a similar support area that I'll be pulling from and looking forward to seeing fibs move from. That really helped using the June 19 area last time. All right. We've seen some great movements from that area. Because of that and understanding that happened, I plan on making really, really good moves with that area. I'll be knocking them down as hard as I can every single time, trying my best to make every single dollar possible. I won't catch them all, so I'm going to apologize up front. I'm not going to be able to get every single one of them. I'll go one of my booty bags. I've got that on my top list, right? I got another video, by the way, coming out in a few days with another 10 coins. I haven't revealed what the coins are yet, okay? That'll be in the Discord first. If you haven't done so, jump over to the Discord because it's free. It costs nothing to be in our Discord. And in fact, you can get full access for free. For free. All you do is jump over and use the Launchpass link. Where's the Launchpass link? Our Discord's full of stuff, okay? We have multiple chat sections and multiple private chats. I don't use Telegram anymore for anyone who asks. I stopped using Telegram a while ago. There's so many scammers. Here's our website with our Launchpass link on it. Right there. Just click Launchpass. And it takes you right to our link where you can sign up. There's even a little video for you to watch right here. Welcome, everyone. There you go. I'm talking in the video. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. If you don't want to do that and you're already on Launchpass, or you just want to hang out in the Discord, the general chat. We don't talk too much in the general chat, to be honest. Mostly in private chats and chart channels. Click the Discord, takes you right over there. Perhaps you want a private consult. They're buy one, get one free right now. Grab you a private consult, buy one, get one. If you don't want to use your second one and you want to gift it to someone, whatever. It's coming up on the holidays, right? Maybe you want to do that. Either way, all on our website. Come over there and hang out. I'm over there literally all the time. And I'll talk to anyone who asks questions, all right? Don't think I'm special. I'm just a dude, and I know that. I'm nobody special, so I'll talk to all of you. ADA, crushed. Getting absolutely bombarded by sell pressure. It's done none of the effect of, let's go up here. It's only went down. It only got worse and worse and worse. I fully expect 23 cents to hit here. If it can't hold 23 cents, and there's a possibility that it won't, all right, then we have a lower level at around 13 cents to 10 cents. Boy, 88 at 10 cents. My goodness, I got to buy it. And that's about a 60% drop. So I really don't see that happen at first. It could do it. It could do it. It could capitulate that far. But if I can get 50% down at 15 cents, that's still a really, really good deal. And I don't think it's important to absolutely catch the bottom by the nth of a percent. Okay. If we can get in this area, we're going to kill it. We're going to kill it. Okay. Anywhere in this area, I'm tickled with. Good gains back to that area. If we were to go that far, it's going to be roughly 500% back to the 50. The 382 will probably be about 250%. Those are great gains to make over a summer. I'm excited if that happens. That'll let me build my garage. That's for damn sure. That'll be excellent. I'm more than ready for that shit to happen. All right. I bet we as a team have higher accuracy calls than anyone else in the space. As a team, I bet you're right. It won't just be me. It'll be everyone. All the people you see over here in blue, they're common to be over in the Discord, shooting the shit, talking up and chatting and having a grand old time. We'll talk about anything over there. There's no rules. All right, except child pornography. We won't allow that. All right, CRV still in this big, gnarly fallen wedge. It did bounce off the bottom of it, and it is kind of like hanging out right here, but it's kind of smacking resistance and failing. Could it run up to this upper level here? Yes, it could. It's sitting there idling like maybe it wants to, but it can't make its mind up. It keeps failing and shifting and not deciding exactly what it wants to do. It's killing me because I want my short to play out and just fall off the face of the earth, but I think it's eventually going to do. Unfortunately, it's just stuck sideways. So it's already at the 50 fib and dancing around with it right now. And I said dancing because that's how we say it in the South. We don't say dancing. We say dancing. Go dancing. That's just how we do it. Sorry. Oh, me and my kid had this talk earlier because we had to take our dog to the vet. And there was a possibility we're going to have to take the dog to Atlanta. Notice that I didn't say Atlanta because that's not how we say it down here. If you say Atlanta, then we know you're not from here. It's Atlanta. Ullana. Atlanta. Atlanta. All right? That's just how we say it. We had a good joke about that. Me and my kid had a good joke about that because he's like, that's not how you say it. I said, that's how you said it. That's not what I meant. I meant Atlanta. I said, no, you said Atlanta. So it was fun. In the event we do fall way down again, which I think is fully possible here, to be realistic, you know, we did like a stupid run up. Come back here anywhere in this range, test this low again, give me 40 or 50% down. We're coming all the way back down to test the bottom of this trend line again. Boy, wouldn't that be ruthless if it did that? What if it did like a 1272? Shoo, that would be below the wedge. Let's say it doesn't do that and it just goes back down to previous lows of 40 cents. Because be a little bit conservative. 40 cents back up to the 50 fib all time here. You've seen right there, by the way, it was sitting under the 50 fib on the daily. Just threatening to go down more. Hasn't done it yet, but I've got to stick with bearish because I can't do anything long-wise. All right, if we pull this trend line here and we assume that bottom has already come in and it's just going to go back to it again. It doesn't break it. If we get back to that bottom to the 50 fib is 300%. That's excellent. We could go a little farther than that, as you see, because support's a little higher than that. However, let's assume the worst, 382, 192%. I will take it. If I can turn my portfolio 100% over and have twice as much, holy shit, y'all. That is mega to me. Mega. Because I'm not a guy of tons of means. If I can have twice as much money to do work with, oh my God, that's going to like, it's going to make my head spin. I even had a talk with a guy today, was trying to tell him, and I'm like, I want you to prepare because when this happens and you get a lot of money, you're going to start thinking differently and your mind's going to start spinning and changing. I need you to understand to control that because it's going to make your head spin and you're going to feel like a different person. You feel like you can throw a lot of money around. You're going to feel like those degenerates that you see on crypto Twitter throwing $50,000 and $100,000 around at a time per trade and acting like they did a killing when they only made actually 12%. But that 12% was worth $10,000, right? You see a lot of that. I don't want anybody to do that. That's silly and stupid, and I don't think it's smart. I love how locals have their own pronunciations. It's the same up north of Worcester or Swampscott. So you said Worcester, so down here we'll say Worcester. All right. Hope the power outage thing didn't hurt you guys. Yeah, I think Nick's power went out yesterday for a bit, or Tuesday for a bit. Not sure. Ronan says, say New Orleans. That's Norlands. Norlands. We don't say Nolans because I'm not actually from there. So I say Norlands. Norlens. Norlands. Have you ever been to New Orleans? No, never been to New Orleans. But I'd like to go. I'm an idiot, dude. Listen to how I sound. God bless America. No wonder nobody watches this shit. All right, CRV. I'm sorry, Doge. I've got a great number of wonderful tweets talking about how great everything's doing. I'm going to keep those on there. I'm not going to delete them because these are some of the stupidest tweets I saw. Buying Doge here at the top. Deploying more capital at the top. Doge is pumping at the top. Sold all my QNT for Doge. Pray for me. Lord, that didn't work. I guess you're the wrong religion. I'm buying more Doge at the top, at the top, at the top, at the top. Congratulations, people. You're losing. Again, Doge broke trend line here, okay, just like Trias did. We saw that a moment ago. I fully expect this thing to come back down here and test this trend line some more, though. Perhaps it just goes back to its previous low. And let's assume that's the case. Let's assume it goes back to previous low and no more. Okay, pull the trend here. Previous low would be right about there. All right, back to the 50 fib from the previous low, which is about 40% lower than we are now. 382 would be about 150%. I think you see how fast Doge moves. We could probably pull that off. 265% back to the 50 fib that it happened to get pretty near but not tag. It got to the 382 and stopped. Okay, you might see the same move here for many other coins in the next summer, right? The same thing happened and it come back and bounce on trend lines and move up. Doge may move much before all that. Can't really say it will or won't. We'll have to keep our eye on it. It's just sitting sideways and down right now. So, you know, all these people are going to feel vindicated when the price does go back up and goes way up next year. They're going to feel vindicated and think that they caught the bottom when in fact they didn't. They bought 70 or 80% above the bottom, right? They're going to think they bought the bottom, but they didn't. They're going to feel vindicated when it goes way up and it runs back to 786, which you saw how high that was, right? It could go much higher than that. I mean, we've seen Dogecoin do this before. We've seen it sprint way beyond just 786. Just 786, about 900%. Not bad, right? I would take that. SHIB. We were talking about this earlier, and we all kind of got this sneaking suspicion that SHIB does more than Doge this time. We can't be for sure, right? But we all kind of got that suspicion that, you know, Doge may do more, may do less than SHIB, and SHIB is a very violent mover. We don't need this thing to do what it did last time. We just want it to do something similar. It doesn't have to do the exact same thing. Just come down to a level where we're comfortable grabbing a hold of it and ride it up some. And I believe that's going to be down to previous low, which is about 507. Right now it's 409 or whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's about 30% or 40%, somewhere in that area. Okay, I'm going to measure above that and be conservative here. Right, 50 fib, 263%. I'd take it. 745% up to 786. Those are both excellent goals. Obviously, this thing could go way higher and go to upper take profit levels. I just don't expect those. Again, I got my hopes up on some things last bull run and learned my lesson, right? So the lesson I learned was, more often than not, these things aren't going to break up and go to take profit levels. More often than not, they're going to stop around 786, right? Because that's what altcoins do. They're very violent. They either stop at 786 or they go all the way up here to take profit levels. We shall monitor closely, right? We shall monitor closely, but we can't assume. I'm going to assume the worst. And if I get the best, hey, you're not going to find a happier person. Okay? My dog SHIB, do it for me again. Exactly. I grew up in Chili Gently. That's pretty good. Dialects, shrugs. See, it's Worcester. See, look. He said, see, it's a Worcester. We stay Worcester. So see, we just add the stupid vowels in there that don't need to be in there. I love America. For all the world who watches this and thinks that all Americans are the same, you could not possibly be more wrong. As a matter of fact, we tend not to hang out with each other because of where we're from. All right? Now, if something bad happens and you piss us off, we all kind of come together then, but you kind of got to rattle the cage before we bite. All right? That's not true. We'll bite anyway. All right. If FTM here loses 50% of the value from where it's at, because it's still stuck under this trend and still getting hammered, when it comes down to around 12 to 15 cents here, anywhere in this range, it's a good buy for me. Could go farther, right? 382 here would be 251%, up to the 50, 400%, and beyond that, 13 to 14 to 1500%, up to Sniper's Alley here. Holy crap. That's a 15x, folks. Are you here for 15x? Because I damn sure are. If you tell me that I 15x my portfolio right now, I can't even count that high. I can't even count that high. I'm here for all of that. All right? The numbers make me think, man. You know what I mean? They get my head spinning, and I try to keep a clear head about this stuff, but it's hard to. And so I tell you guys, I understand when you can't keep a clear head sometimes, because even the best of us have a hard time looking at this stuff and going, yeah, man. Definitely, I'm just going to be conservative. Shit, dude. Listen to these numbers. I mean, listen to them. And before you say they can't happen, right here is the OG shitters list. Oh, focus. There we go. There's the focus. So, green, red Phoenix, green, red Pulse Phoenix. Right? Bolt, CMT, QKC, Mithril, the backside. Cocos, BRD, which is bread token. Wink, ENQ, JAR, MTV, VSYS, and TKY. These were just some of them. There's another paper somewhere and I can't find it. I got to dig around some more. But we did this in 2019 on a Saturday morning. All right? This list was incredibly accurate. I don't know if you saw the percentages on there, but I'm going to rattle them off for you real quick. 4,000%, 5,500%, 4,200%, 1,700%, 2,800%, 1,800, so forth and so on, 6,000%, 4,000%, 7,500%. If you go back and look at what we posted in the Discord, a lot of this shit come true, and we actually undershot targets. We are currently working on a new list. It's not released yet. Right, there you go. Okay. New list isn't released yet. We're going to work on it more after the stream, get a little bit better with it, find as many as we can so we can give as much data as we can out there to everyone when the time's right so that we can deploy capital like crazy. We can be diversified. We can make money throughout the entire sector. And I'm super, super hopeful. I'm super hopeful that we all make exponential gains in the smoothest way possible. No Ponzi's needed. You know what I mean? None of that bullshit needed. Just straight up charts, straight up hard work. All right. Filecoin here is on my shitter list. Look at this thing just nose diving. But that's okay. It's okay because it can recover. How much farther? I don't know if Filecoin has data. Let's see if it's got any more data. Yeah, it does. There we go. Cool. So it's already kind of come back to some support. Let's see how far back it's come. And I use CoinTrader.pro to find all the old school data that I can't see otherwise. It's in 786, 886 now. All right. So it may not fall much farther than it already has. Right. That doesn't mean, sorry, there we go. It doesn't mean that everything's going to always fall when Bitcoin goes down. It just typically happens. It doesn't always happen. Could we just throw a wick down here? Likely. So it may be difficult to catch the absolute bottom here on Filecoin, or we may already be at it and it may just not fall much farther. All right. So I'm going to assume by the numbers here that we've already fallen to our max fall. All right. I'm going to grab this fib here just for squirts and giggles. All right. Let's say we've already fallen as far as we're going to fall here. It's about $4 on the floor, which would be about 25% more down. So from the floor up to 382, 250% to the 50, 440% for the next retrace up over the next summer. And for the top here, 1,500% just back to 786. That's insane. That's great. Let me write that down because I really like those numbers. Okay, I really, really like those numbers. And I know the chart looks intimidating because it's so much down and so much sell pressure. Eventually, the sell pressure will break, folks. And when the sell pressure breaks, I think there's gains to be had. Let's look at the fibs right here so we can pull a fib on this. Yeah, we haven't gone down to take profit levels. So it could go down to 379, 335, one of those, and that would make our gains even higher. Okay, let's assume it goes to 1272. That's 1,700% to Sniper's Alley. 17x. It's definitely going on the list. Okay, sweet. QKC, brother. Let me tell you what, Mullet. Let's look at it real fast. There's a reason this group exists, and QKC is that reason. It's a long backstory behind this. And if you guys want to hear it, jump over in the Zoom after this in 4 minutes. And we're going to have a hell of a Zoom, guys. We're going to have a hell of a Zoom. All right? I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it's going to be a long one. There's going to be a lot of drinking involved. We're going to get real good and smashed. And we're going to find some great charts to buy. Why? Because some of the best trades I've ever done were on this stream when you guys were tipping like crazy. And I drank way too much scotch, got blasted, and then woke up the next morning with a hangover, but made thousands of dollars overnight. All right? It's happened multiple times. It's happened multiple times now. I guess it's because it kind of removes my inhibitions. It stops me from overthinking. All right? You can overthink a lot of stuff sometimes. It stops me from overthinking. All right, QKC. Let's assume that we fall all the way back to 786 here. 002. God, that's a long way down. Look at that. It's hanging out on the 50 fib right now. That's 70% down. Gosh. I don't think it goes that far. All right, let's say it doesn't go that far, and let's say it only goes to the 618. Fair? Let's say it outperforms most, which is amazing if it does. Could you imagine if this shitcoin outperforms a lot of other assets? Oh my God, I will talk so much shit. I'll talk so much shit. 618 was right about here. All right, to the floor and up 382. The 50 fib is 213 and back up to the 786, 86, 700%. That's if we hit the 618. If we go down to 786, which was down here, then obviously those gains are higher. I don't assume we go down that far. That's a 10x. All right, that's pretty good for a shitter. All right, pretty good. I don't think you need to put much money in this. And when I say shitters, what we're saying is basically no more than $100 or so in any of these. And part of the reason is because of liquidity. A lot of these coins that I just talked about don't have a ton of liquidity. So if you go buying $10,000 worth, it's going to be very difficult for you to sell that $10,000 worth for a profit because you're going to have to use up the whole order book. Grabbing this one and it won't sell but a piece. Grabbing this one, it won't sell but a piece. Grabbing this one, it won't sell but a piece. You're going to have to eat the whole order book up just to sell what you have. And you're going to see the price start to move when you do so. You're going to be a whale. All right. And obviously, whenever you start doing that, people are going to react to the chart. Bots are going to react to the chart, and they're going to start buying and putting up more orders and new orders. You're going to see this happen. So what we've come up with is just not putting a lot of liquidity out there. Don't risk a lot of liquidity on these, and you won't have that problem, okay? It's going to be difficult enough to sell $100 or $200 worth. You'll see how I'm talking about when it happens. Baby steps there. All right. QKC. Rug! Whenever Rug shows up, he gets applause and cheers. My man. Talked to him the other day. Doing well. I love to see people doing well. He's going through some of the same stuff I'm going through. I'm not going to talk about what that is, but I fully get it. And us dads understand, okay? There's a reason my fingernails are painted pink and shit, okay? All right? Dad shit. Dad shit comes first. On that note, that was an hour. That shit went by pretty quick, didn't it? I felt like that was some of the more entertaining bullshit that I've done before. Thank you all for watching. We didn't go through a ton of charts, but went through some important charts. We showed some important chart structures and setups. And I think these are really, really, really going to play out well. I did have some moonshine. I didn't drink enough. I'm about to drink a whole lot more. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. I'll leave you with this. In the words of the late, great, Notorious B.I.G., Y'all could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me and 786 Unlimited. I thank you more than you'll ever understand. Sincerely. Y'all be good. I'll see y'all on the next live stream Tuesday. Peace. Sky's the limit.